What's up, guys and gals? Welcome to the Nerd Castle for the first episode of the Spatials, which is a series that I've been planning on doing for a little bit, but just kind of like with all the zombie shenanigans that happened on the channel, I just didn't get around to it. I backed the early access about, I'd say a month and a half ago, and I've been playing it quite a bit on my laptop, like in my free time, and honestly, I just installed it on this computer, and I had an extra hour or two, so I figured I would record a couple episodes just to let people know about the game. And if you don't know what the Spatials is, it's a colony management sim which has an action RPG sort of progression combat system in which you take control of a colony which has to conquer the entire galaxy in the name of, humanity, essentially. You sort of just run around and shoot anybody that dissents with you. It works out fairly well. And so in being thrust into the galaxy, you have to make your home base, and then you have to set out from there to find treasures, get resources, do research, make your base better, recruit more people, and then keep them all happy and from going all cabin fever crazy and murdering each other with pointy implements. And so without further ado, let's play the Spatials for a little bit, shall we? I think everybody's going to enjoy this game. I really think you will. Alright, 5781 AD, Human Federation HQ, Earth. Greetings, officer. Your outstanding work as a rank 5 bureaucrat has been noticed by your superiors. Well, if there's one thing I like better than bureaucracy, it's being noticed. You have been chosen to build and lead a new station in an uncharted corner of the galaxy. Upon finishing the paragraph, I feel... Does 2 sentences count as a paragraph? Anyways, upon finishing your statement, Madame Bunn, I feel as though this is a punishment. But you know what? Being the good bureaucrat that I am, like Hermes, I will go ahead and just accept. And so explore the surrounding systems and their planets, discover their resources, and deal with any opposition. You have the trust of the Human Federation. I'm assuming they mean they want me to trade with them, not trade fire with them. No, they actually mean they want me to murder everybody that says otherwise. So first and foremost, here we go. I don't need the tutorial. That one looks like Eva, I suppose, from WALL-E. I always felt bad for WALL-E. WALL-E got himself deployed on the worst mission ever. How bad would that suck to just be manufactured as a robot and then be told that you were just going to spend the rest of your existence clunking around on a trash planet, just mining in a bored fashion, waiting for anything interesting to happen. His best friend was a cockroach. Come on, man. His best friend was a cockroach. How far do you have to fall before your best friend becomes a cockroach? That's really all you have to say about that situation. But the first and foremost, the things we want to do, let's talk about the UI right here, and you will see that I've given the order to open up some corridors. We can actually look around, so this will give us object info. We can click on things, and it'll tell us about stuff and people and things. That right there, bold fashion choice. I'm enjoying the flat top with the mustache. And also, he's got those, he's got those BCGs going on. Anyways, this is your destruction menu. It allows us to destroy things. This is our construction menu. So the first thing we need to do is build some corridors to connect some things, and you will see that I have done that, and we've got this lovely little starburst pattern going on, which is now making me hungry. There's a candy in the United States called Starburst. I don't know if they have that everywhere. I always try to make sure, because I know I have an international audience. It's like a fruit candy, a waxy fruit candy that gives you it'll wreck your plumbing if you eat too much of it. It's not digestible, but it's very delicious. So anyways, we've got a security gate right here so we can keep people from going through unless they reach a certain rank. We've got a spaceport which allows tourists to come and gawk at us just in case we want to dance like monkeys for their entertainment. You know, itch your armpits, go ooh-ee, ooh-ah-ah, and all that fun stuff. We've got ourselves a warehouse, which is going to be the first thing that we build. So let me lay the walls down right now by clicking on this right here. And in laying the walls down, I suppose we'll go 4 wide? Nah, I don't like it. Let's go, yeah, there it is. Let's go 7 wide. And then let's just build our warehousing area right next to this chasm. What could go wrong with putting all of our vital supplies right next to a very large space chasm? Obviously, nothing could ever malfunction with this game plan. And on top of that, what we want to do is, so we're building a warehouse so that we can store more stuff. Take a look at the top right-hand corner. We've got our credits. We've got how happy people are and whether it's ready. Whether we are ready or not. I don't know why I'm getting so tongue-tied right now, but I am. My tongue is very, very tied at the moment, and I'm really sort of trying to work it out, kind of getting those oral calisthenics going on. Unfortunately, it's just not working the way that I want it to at this point. Whether or not we are ready for immigration, or not immigration, I guess, like tourists. And then, in here in the warehouse, what we want to do is, if you look at the bottom of the screen, we've actually got ourselves these little grayed out slots right here. They hold the items that we're going to get when we go out on away missions. So when we go out on away missions to pillage and plunder and basically perform legal piracy on everything that neighbors our star system, we'll come back with guns, equipment, armor, mods, and things like that that'll make our characters better, but a vast majority of them are going to be incredibly useless. And so they fill in these slots right here when we come back. And what we want to do is build a recycler in our warehouse so that we can destroy that stuff and get ourselves some extra credits. It's a great way to make money. Stealing other people's stuff and then breaking it down for component parts. It's a pretty good way to financially secure yourself for the future, and so that's what we're going to do. Now, the first thing we need to do is drop some pallets up in here, though, so that we can expand that storage a little bit further. And I'm going to do so on this side of the room. Now, each one of these is fairly expensive. It costs 100 credits, but as of right now, we actually don't have that much to construct. We've got a little bit of research we can do in just a second to increase the amount of things that we can build. But for right now, this pallet right here, you see how all of those boxes just became formed? They materialized from the ether. Well, now we can store more stuff. Hooray. Some people call it science. I call it magic because I don't understand it and it makes me scared and also intimidated. But nonetheless, they are objects that we can make use of, so there it is. Now that we've got that done, I'm going to build our recycler for 100 credits down here in the corner. If you wanted to use it, it's very, very simple. The devs have done a really good job with the UI of making sure like everything is intuitive. You just click on it and you drag and drop the things you want to recycle, and that's it. It's that easy. It works exactly like you would figure it would if you designed it yourself. Now, WASD allows us to pan around a little bit, although it's a tad chunky. You can tell the game was made for iOS, or maybe for the Droid first, I'm not sure which, because clicking and dragging makes you like move around much more smoothly than using WASD. Still, it's a minor complaint. It's not one that really like is a game wrecker for me. It means I can play the game one-handed giggity, which is all kinds of fun, and so that's what I'm going to do. However, the game does not have any microtransaction schemes. Once you buy into the game, the first time you get all this stuff, on the phone, I believe it did have microtransactions, I think. It was free on the iOS from what I remember. However, actually, I'm not going to do that. You guys cancel that job. I don't like that idea at all. I'm going back on my word right now. Typically, I try not to do that, but you know what? In the interest of everything being a little bit better organized, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to make... Can you make side-by-side corridors? I don't believe that you can. Yeah, I think it, like... It gives you mandatory spacing if you try, I think. I'm going to put a door right there because it seems like it'll work out okay for me. And there, is somebody going to build that? I know somebody's, the lady in green's going to come all the way over and handle it. Alright, well, Moulin Rouge yourself on over here and get it done. Was it the green lady in Moulin Rouge? I don't even remember. It was like the green fairy or something. Never mind. Reference failed. Reference failed. Reference completely and totally failed. So there's a number of tabs right here we want to be aware of. The first and foremost, Home tab. That's what we're on right now. Allows us to see our colony. Right there's the Galaxy tab. We can click in, and that'll take us into individual star systems. Once you go into the individual star systems, you can go to individual planets, jump in, and you can pillage, loot, maim, destroy, do missions. The ones with these little yellow exclamation points, I had to remember, these little, they look like little cudgels. You know, like the cudgels that the police used to have back in like the early 1900s? They sort of look like that. I'm going to call it a cudgel from now on. These golden cudgels are locations where you can go and destroy your enemies for increased monetary profit and also the storyline satisfaction that you desire. This right here is a building with an embassy where you can put people here and it'll actually make you get resources faster from the planets that you have conquered. Each planet that you go to will have resources. You can put in little miners on each of these and they will give you bugs, slime, any other nasty resource that you might want. We've got on this planet, we've got even more bugs and slime, unfortunately. The planet of Careful, either that or the planet of Carful. I don't know, it might just be a giant parking lot. Actually, we have only slime and bugs in our first system. That's actually kind of terrible. That's pretty bad. That's going to negatively affect us in the future. So we're probably going to want to clear this place out as quickly as possible and then jump to the next system because slime and bugs, while great for making pizza, aren't that great for anything. I'm not even pulling your leg right now. Bugs are an active component in pizza in this game. It's bug pizza. People love it. They eat it up non-stop and they sing merrily while they do it, which is amazing considering they only have one esophagus through which to enunciate and also swallow. This right here is going to be the contracts menu. We'll talk about that a little bit later. It's got various difficulties. Essentially, you can send people out on like away missions and it'll just do various things, but we'll show that off in just a second. And over here is our staff menu, which becomes very, very important. No, this is not where we keep our particular wizarding implements. This is where we keep all of our individuals who will be running our base. Oh, she's got a visor like Geordie. I mean, it looks a little bit different. I like Geordie's because it's like pimped out and it has like gold on it, but hers will work out in a pinch, I guess. If you just need to see. If you just don't want to be blind anymore, hers will work. But I prefer a little bit of bling to go with my blindness. As of right now, you'll see that everybody levels up. And as they level up, they get these bonuses to the things that they're able to do in the game. Looks like right now everybody is euphoric. That's because we have been pumping ridiculous amounts of just vaporized dopamine through all of the vents. It's the future. We're allowed to do that. Don't complain about it. It's a little bit dystopian, but it keeps people from complaining. So, As they level up, they need more stuff. So sleep, hunger, thirst. They start to crave random things. She craves sea rations, which is all kinds of weird. hygiene, washing yourself, brushing your teeth, soap, advanced soap. That's just soap that it graduated from its classes a lot quicker. Like when it was like 13, it graduated from soap high school. Very, very above the bar. You get fun red tokens right here for gambling, I think. I don't know. I haven't gotten much farther than advanced soap, to be honest. I tried to play this game to the point where like I still wanted to play it. That's kind of like the big deal breaker that I always get when I do a series is like I can play it out on my own. So if I play a game for like 80 hours on my own, indeed I know everything about it, but by that point I'm like bored with the game and then I just don't feature it. And so I try and strike like a sweet spot where I play the game for like 8 hours before I do a series just to get the basics down, and then after that there's still like sort of that raw blind experience too. It's a compromise that I am willing to make. We can have things that they own, things that they crave. Eventually they'll have like their own individual stuff like beds and things of that nature. We have their various productions, so we can keep them from building things or producing things if we want. We can fire them. We can lay them off. We can tell them to lay off. I mean, I don't know, be like, yeah, lay off. Unfortunately, laying people off here means that we eject them out of the airlock, so you really don't want to lose your job in the faux Starfleet. Still, just saying, do your job well, or we will throw you out the airlock. So if you ever played Cosmonautica, though, it's very, very similar. People just have wants and needs. As they level up and get better at their jobs, they have more and more things that they need. It's just instead of that being on your spaceship, it's actually on your star station at this point. Star Station sounds like a really, really terrible off-brand PlayStation. It's the Star Station, developed, I don't know, the Samsung Star Station? There we go, that works. That seems about right. That seems like the sort of thing that might happen. I love how the music is thematic and it reminds me of Star Trek. I enjoy it. You can actually get overlays that tell you what each planet has, just in case you wanted to. Unfortunately, we need to find ourselves some metals and some foods, otherwise this is not going to work out so great for us. This entire system seems to be mostly focused around bugs and the remaining slime that they leave behind. So let's go on an away mission right now. I mean, we could actually, let me build my barracks first, because people are going to want to sleep. The level 1 requirement that they have is that they need to sleep, and if you click, no, don't do that. If you do that, I will slay you. There we go. Alright, so we want to go with, there it is, the barracks. And so let's go ahead and put in a barracks right here. We actually don't want to go too wide with it, though. Otherwise, bad things will happen. And that'll actually be flush. Yeah, it's actually going to make that look kind of weird. Never mind. I take it back. I don't want that to happen. There we go. Do not build that barracks! There we go. You got to sing the song of not building barrackses. It's a niche tune. Not everybody knows about it. Actually, I could do this kind of like, I'm going to try and do something weird with this build. How about that? How's that sound? I'm going to try and do something odd right here. I so rarely do these sorts of things that I figure I should like branch out and allow my OCD to subside for a second. There we go. And I'm just going to make some weird oblong parts of our base. The function of the barracks is almost entirely just to make people rest. You see right here, they have a sleep meter. As they have more and more needs, they'll be added up underneath these vitals. But for right now, they all need sleep, and so we need to put in a barracks first so that when they get back from away missions, they can actually, like, clonk out for a little while and make themselves feel better. The other thing I suppose I should draw your attention to is the combat system over here. This is a very easy tab to miss, but you can upgrade everybody's gear as they level up. So he starts with a phaser. She's got nothing. Bare fist. They're going in judo style. Judo chop. She's got a laser, and she's got a ray gun. The difference, I'm not really sure. No clue. But anyways, you can upgrade their weapons. Every class has a special, every job has their own special skill. The engineer has grenade, which is the Tatas. It's probably the greatest ability ever. It's a giant AoE that just wipes out everything if you can make it land. She's got immobilize. She's a diplomat. Immobilize makes somebody stand there for a second, just stunned by the stupidity of your proposition, and then you can shoot them to death while they try and recover intellectually. We've got Pacifica Wepsic. That's like one of those names that somebody, that sounds like an actor's name. Like their name was originally like Andy Ingersoll or something like that, and then they go ahead and they just like rename themselves something flashy because they're now an actor. She has an AoE heal. Our scientist has a very, very underrated ability called Recharge, which is an AoE electricity. It's basically mana. It restores everybody else's electricity / mana in exchange for a chunk of his. And it's useful because people run out of energy really, really fast in this game. So once you figure it out, though, if you give him really, really good energy regen, you should never have electricity problems ever again when it comes down to like your away missions. You should be fine. Let's go ahead and jump on into an away mission after we plunk some beds down. Beds plunk. That's a lesser known fact about beds. They plunk when you put them down. It's an odd sound considering they're not made out of metal, and I feel like PVC pipe might be able to plunk too, but mostly metal and PVC would plunk. I'm going to drop that in right there. And once that's been dropped in, we can actually well, I guess we're just going to have a random corridor out there. What we need to do is actually rotate these beds in, And we need to give people some locations where they can sleep. Now, they will share these beds. It's not that big of a deal that you put in like 1,000 beds so that everybody can be happy. 4 will do. Don't overshoot and do 1,000. That might negatively affect your fiscal future. We'll go ahead and put some lockers in because I do enjoy decorative stuff, and everybody likes to lock up their stuff, especially if they're enterprising thieves all over the station. You see what I did right there? Star Trek joke, enterprising thieves. Ah! I had to explain it, though, which sort of like ruins the whole thing. Alright, joke deployed, joke ruined. Job done here. Let's walk away. Anyways, there it is. Our entire base is done for right now. If you wanted to research things, just in case your first search didn't go so well, you could research them over here, and the factory is available from the beginning. Now, we don't necessarily need it. We'll need this in a little bit for manufacturing more goods. We'll use it for, like, processing ore. We need the kitchen for making food, and we need the metal press for something. I don't know. We'll figure that out in just a second. Chemical workshop allows you to produce all kinds of like random stuff. Basically, this unlocks the path to get more things. You don't necessarily get all of this. It lists all the things that you get through the chain too. So in unlocking this, we get only the things that are attached to it. And so actually, maybe we do. Maybe they expanded this. Yeah. And then from there, you'll see that it unlocks the chain. Now, the chain is fairly expansive. It goes out, like, forever. Like, seriously. For an early access game, there's actually quite a bit to occupy yourself with in this game. I'm not really sure whether this is going to be a full series or not. I'm not sure what to do. You'll all have to vote, I guess, down in the comments and just kind of, like, see how excited people are. We're going to be doing a lot of zombie stuff in the next couple weeks, so I figured it'd be nice to balance it out with something a little bit slower and more plotting, maybe. It's not even that plotting, though, because the combat is fairly fluid and fun. And speaking of combat, let's get to it. I feel like the planet of Careful is the one that I want to go to right now. So off to the planet of Careful. Here's our away mission. Every single place that you go to, if you notice over here, you need research points. Once you go past this spot right here, you need research points in order to unlock the further research kind of, I guess, branches. So for these, we need 2. For duty-free, we need 3. I always like my base to be duty-free. If there's duty in my base, it sucks. You got to watch where you step. There we go. We've got the hall right there. So, I mean, basically we need like 7 to get all the way through the next tier, in addition to a bunch of credits. So let's go to the galaxy. We're going to take this mission right here. It's a bounty, which means they're going to send us out to otherwise beat up, rough up, arrest, or kill someone, and that'll be that. So let's start the mission. Okay, so here we are. And inside this mission, so our camera is now locked on our characters. I think they are implementing it in such a way where you can build like defenses and stuff later on, because there is construction you can make. You can also build like ramps to go over like empty lava spaces and stuff. I don't know. There are like some platypus cats down here. Actually, they're kind of like, I don't know. They've got 6 legs. So I don't know. But you can kill everything on the planet, by the way. In case you're in a particularly murderous mood, you can kill things. You can't kill these guys because they're human settlers. They've got interesting little dick hats. It's standard issue. When you go down to the planet, they're like, here you go. Here's a tin hat that's remarkably phallus shaped. Hopefully you don't have like low self-esteem or something, because this is how you're going to look for the remainder of your days. I'm going to kill the native fauna here by clicking on it, and that's combat right there. Now we can use hotkeys 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to deploy the various abilities of our characters. So for example, number 5 is going to be the electrical ability I told you about. Firing guns costs you energy, so every single action in this game will cost you energy. And so you want to make sure you're staying on top of that so people don't run out very, very quickly. Number 1 gives us our sniper attack. We can upgrade this later on by finding better versions. Number 2, there's our grenade range right there. Number 3 allows us to immobilize somebody. You'll see he takes out an iPad and he's just like, haha, be immobilized, bask in front of the glow of my eminent technology. And then over here on this side we have our AoE heal, which I'm not going to deploy right now because when you hit it, it just goes bzzzt and heals people. At the moment, we need to kill some pie rats, and so since nobody likes rats up in their pie, we're going to go handle that real quick. They've got the golden cudgel above their head, and so that means we're going to go ahead and handle them first. That guy's got some killer goggles. I enjoy his very, very ambitious hairdo as well. It makes me happy. Oh my god, you've been zapped. Welcome to civilization. Why are the animals attacking me? I feel like these animals are really sort of aiding and abetting criminals at the moment, so they shall be vanquished in the same manner as the pirates that they have sworn to protect. That thing has far too many, just way, way too many appendages for me to trust it, so it needs to die. Hold on. You first. There we go. We're going to kill him. Everybody's energy is looking bad, so let me deploy a... There we go. And so I pressed 5 right there. I don't know if you saw, but everybody got energy back. The cooldown is actually pretty quick. You can recharge people fairly quickly. They do regen on their own, but watch out. Their health does need to be like fixed every now and again. Sniper! Ooh, you got owned. There it is. Tyrannosaurus wrecked, noob. Let's go ahead and grab it. Looks like he dropped a bug. Why he's carrying... What does a pirate need with an insect in his pocket? I don't know, but there you go. That must have really been, I guess you could say it must have really been bugging him. I don't know. Those pants always bugged me. I mean, there's a number of ways we can go. Oh, good, 9 more pirates. There's a tier 2 to this mission. Well, then let's dry those eyes, and I suppose we'll run off over this way. Oh, good, that animal's trying to slay me again. Please stop trying to murder me. You're making this whole thing so much worse for yourself. Oh, I'm gonna hand grenade. Yeah, there it is. And so the hand grenade just utterly dominated. Not a lot of people know this, but the natural enemy, like if you go out in nature, the natural enemy of the modern, just kind of like subtropical pirate is the hand grenade. Additionally, SEAL forces, like guys with sniper rifles, tend to do pretty well against those pirates too. Just something else that I've observed through the current events. Oh good, we picked up a blaster so we can get our Han Solo on. Or at least at the bare minimum we can pretend to be a stormtrooper. Is it okay if we're doing like a Star Trek parody? Is it okay to go through and then make Star Wars jokes? I feel like the fandoms have like a, I don't know, I like both. I enjoy both, and I hope people are coming around to enjoy both. It seems sad to me that you would deprive yourself of both Star Trek or Star Wars just because you like the other, because they're both pretty cool in their own unique ways. Like, if you want things to be more about, like, the crew and, like, the supporting cast, I would say that in general, Star Trek is more interesting. However, if you're more into, like, simplified storylines that are really just sort of, like, fun, I'm gonna throw a grenade at you. Hold still. There we go. I don't know, if you're into more like cowboy western and space type things, I would just go with Star Wars. Although I don't know why I need to explain this to anybody in 2014. Like, if you don't know already, I think you've made a concerted effort not to know. I need to keep energy restored. Oh my god, we're missing so much. Okay, so let's walk away for a second. We're gonna get some energy. Oh no, we have, no, go away animals, no! Why? Evil satanic lemurs in space are just like, kill, destroy faster, become better, more proficient at destruction. Alright, and so we have succeeded in our mission, and now we can leave the planet whenever we want. We can just like bail out and just go wherever we're gonna go and do what it do. So that's that. Now you are free. I had to make a cut right there because the game disagrees with my recording software and crashes every time I transition. Every time I transition in between like different scenes, it likes to crash, and so just to be safe, I'm gonna make cuts from here on out, so don't think that I'm editing anything. You can stay on the planet if you want. You see that little check mark? It means we've conquered it. Well done. Within the first 20 minutes of your Starfleet career, we have conquered an entire planet. Granted, they shrunk it down to like the micro size, but we still did it. High five for you, and also double high five for me, since I was doing like the clickery and the shootery. But anyways, now that we're done here, we can deploy little resource harvesters on each of these nodes, and then we can speed that up. So every 12 minutes, I think, let me look right here. Yeah, so 1 per period. There's a really, really off-color joke in here somewhere, but I'm just going to leave it alone. Anyways, so let's get 2 bugs per period, and we'll get 2 slime per period. It does cost us money to deploy these little harvesters here, and if you wanted to speed that up, what you can do is you can go to the embassy, which is on Tingetta. You can hire more recruits, and then you can just take these recruits and you can assign them to the ass end of nowhere on, let's see. You can hire them, and then you can just assign them to this embassy that's on a rock in the middle of nowhere. Look out the window right there. There's not much to see. If you're into geology, it might be fun briefly, but anybody else probably not going to have fun. It's an arid planet. They're giving it to you right there. You can basically deploy people on this planet to make the period shorter for your resource harvesting. So if you're into that, that's what it does. Over here on this side, we probably want to add somebody a weapon. I mean, we've got a number of people here that, yeah, see, he needed to sleep very, very badly, and so job taken care of. They should all actually crash out pretty quickly once we get back. They are now euphoric from their killing spree. I don't think anybody leveled up, though. I think we still have a bunch of level 1s, and that's okay by me. I want to give, so we've got a phaser right there. What does a blaster do by comparison? It has 5 power, but only costs 4 energy, has a 5-meter line, with the same cooldown. Okay, so I'll probably just give this to one of our other randoms then, like maybe the doctor, so we can actually give her a little bit first do harm. I guess she started out with first do no harm, and now it's first do harm, then can you follow that? Can you follow up doing harm with not doing harm? First do harm to those who are not thy homies, I suppose, is the way that we would have to adopt the Hippocratic Oath in this situation. I don't know. First do no harm to thy space homies. That seems to work. I don't think we picked up anything else useful. So if you pan through, it'll put a little check mark in front of it if you've got anything that you can loot. So it appears as though, actually, yeah, our looting spree was actually sort of like subpar on that one. I don't know what you all are thinking, but I'm thinking we should hit another planet. I mean, they all have the same resources, but we have to clear the planets anyways to get research points. So we might as well just go for it. Let's go to Mergen Ket. And this should be a bounty mission, as I understand, I think. Eliminate the Sergeant. Alright, what he did, I'm not sure, but we're going to initiate Operation Sergeant Slaughter. Off we go. And also I'm going to shoot that space yak because he looked at me wrong. And by looked at me wrong, I mean he tried to shove my guts onto the end of his head horn. So there it is. On this side, we've got a sergeant with a battle axe. See, your problem is that you brought a melee weapon to what would be considered like a space duel. Like, the battle axe is not a great plan when all of your enemies have laser weapons. Just not a plan that I would personally enact. It's not a good go-to. I'd backburner it. I'll be honest with you, I'd backburner it. Let me go ahead and I'm going to continue regenerating. I'm not going to call it out like every time I do it, but I do spam on the energy button quite a bit while I go through these missions. Let's grab the receptacles that these animals were carrying on them somewhere on their person. I'm not really sure. If an animal's carrying something on his person, do you say that he's carrying something on his animal? Because technically an animal's not a person, right? So I feel like we would have to adopt the terminology in a separate sense. I don't know. This guy over here, I'm going to try and snipe him, but sometimes you miss, because it's got like a charging period. Yeah, there it is right there. You saw how that went down. I am going to hit him with a grenade, though. We've got a zapper. That seems pretty cool. We could use a zapper. It looks like it actually sort of just like expectorates randomly, though, in weird directions. Expectorations of lightning. Oh, we've got to destroy the factory. Good. We're going to conquer the planet by annihilating and laying low its existing infrastructure. I'm sure that won't annoy the natives at all, that we're now trying to convince to be part of our amazing space fleet. Let's see if I can snipe one of these oh, I was walking, so I aimed badly. That's my fault. Everybody appears to be a little bit far out right now. I'm going to have everybody regenerate for a second. Wow, energy usage seems to be, like, off the charts right now. Continue to heal and also spam abilities. I'm not going to call it out every time. Oh my god, we're getting eaten by space yaks. That is really, really unfortunate. I am not down with that. When they said I was going to be posted here, I figured that they'd have me mopping floors or doing something a little bit more rudimentary, not like exterminating the buffalo species, which actually have a severe hate for humanity. Which came first, the buffalo assassinations or the hatred for humanity? What did one cause the other? Is this all circular? Should we make buffalo friends? I've told you all that my bucket list of items, oh man, we're out of energy too. This is bad. I didn't know there was going to be a marshal coming in right here. That's all kinds of terrible. Alright, let us prepare for the marshal. He's zigzagging. I'm going to snipe him. Oh, it didn't count. No! Alright, well he fell down easy enough, so that's good. What did he drop? Anything? He dropped one bug and $20. He died with a bug and $20 in his pockets. There's got to be an epitaph in there somewhere. Like, somewhere along those lines, you have to be able to just come up with something funny to put on somebody's tombstones. Hear it deep. A grave was dug. When he died, he had a bug or something like that. I don't know. He went to the gym and grew great pecs, then filled his pocket with insects. There's got to be something in there somewhere that we can use. I'm going to go ahead and leave the planet, and so I think this is where I'm going to break off the episode. My name is Splattercat. This game is called the Spatials, and I will see you all in the next episode. I'll probably record like 5 to 10 of this, and we'll just see how people like it. If it ends up being like a ringer where everybody's like, oh my god, more Spatials, and they're just like jumping up and down and rattling the windows, for sure. I like to do a crowd pleaser. I like a crowd pleaser as much as the next guy. So anyways, I'll see y'all later. Hi-do, everybody.